Hey there, welcome to the Frameworks of Focus podcast. This is a show for creators, entrepreneurs, and builders. Here we talk about how to stay focused, master your attention, and get the right things done so you can do your great work. I call today's framework the OCD Method for Organize, Control, Do. And let me tell you the story behind this framework and why I developed it. I'm a parent of 4 kids, and the last few years of life have been wonderful, but there have also been a lot of stressful times for me. I work at a tech company that saw several rounds of layoffs during the COVID pandemic, and funnily enough, I remember the first one the best. I think by the second and third, I had been somewhat numbed, so they didn't have as much of an impact on me. But that first one was very scary. We had all been working from home for a few months, so everything was being run over Zoom, and I remember the day it happened very well. A lot of my meetings were canceled last minute, and then a mandatory Zoom meeting from my department head appeared on my calendar. I wondered what it was about, and I wondered if I was getting laid off. When I joined, I saw a bunch of other people, which immediately made me breathe a sigh of relief, and we were all informed that there had been layoffs at the company, and that if we were in this meeting, then that meant we had not been affected. I was grateful, but I also knew that many people that I knew well and cared about had been affected and were probably hurting a lot and were probably pretty fearful. We were given the rest of the day off, and then it was the weekend. Layoffs are difficult for everybody involved, and it certainly impacts the people laid off the most, but it also takes a toll on the company and those who stay. Coming back to work the next Monday, I remember feeling this weird mix of gratitude and relief, and then also still fear. The possibility of more layoffs loomed, and being filled with fear and stress made it difficult to focus. I also had kind of an intuition, though, and that this was a big inflection point for me and for my career and my own growth. If I sat there wallowing in fear, focusing on the possibility of more layoffs, then I would run myself right into the ground. Around this time, I heard a story about a race car driver named Mario Andretti. In an interview, he was asked what his number one piece of advice would be for those interested in the sport. The advice that he gave was to not look at the wall, because your car will go where your eyes are. And so the lesson here is that if you spend your race focused on the wall, you're going to hit the wall. Focus instead on the open road in front of you, on where you want to go, and on the possibilities. I was entering a new race, and this wall of a pandemic and rounds of layoffs was looming up in front of me. Looking at it filled me with fear, which paralyzed me. I had to make the choice to not succumb to the fear and stress, and instead focus on the possibility. And this framework was born from that experience. So the framework again is organize, control, do. The first thing I do when I feel too stressed to focus is to organize. I start with my digital workspace, closing tabs and apps that I don't need, and getting my digital workspace paired back to only the things I need for the task at hand. This reduces visual clutter that is adding to my cognitive workload and to my stress. Then I organize my physical space. I stack or I remove loose paper on my desk, but put my scattered pens away and place any books I don't need back on the shelf. I get the space around me aligned and organized and tidy. This reduces the sense of chaos I feel in my environment, which helps me feel more capable of acting within the chaos of the world and overcoming it and conquering it. Then I organize my thoughts. I write down what is going through my head, I dump everything onto paper with a pen, and I clearly identify what I need to be focusing on at the moment. This usually takes me 5 to 10 minutes total to get things organized around me. This really shouldn't be a long process. Once I'm organized, I look over my thoughts and I figure out what parts of my worries I can actually do something about. I separate those things out, and then I throw all the rest of the things away, accepting that I have no control over them, and then I'm prepared to do whatever I can to improve my situation and continue to grow in the way that I want. Now that I'm back in control of my future, I take the final step, which is to do. I take action immediately, and I start working on something that I can control and that I need to be doing. This framework has helped me so many times, and it's helped me in an immense number of ways as I have developed an ability to keep a cool head and get things done in stressful situations. It's led me to grow my salary by 80% since then and get 3 promotions in under 3 years from the start of the pandemic until we started coming back into the office. And so I really encourage you, next time you're feeling really stressed out, overwhelmed with everything that's happening, to think about this framework. Get yourself organized, organize your space, organize your thoughts, organize your future, and then figure out what you can control and begin to take action immediately. It will make you feel so much better.